Hello and welcome to another episode of Enter the Nerdosphere, the official podcast for the Nerdosphere. I'm Clayton. I'm joined as always and forever by Corbin. And tonight,
hello,
we're going to be discussing our top 7 movies from 2017. With a cherry on top, we're going to also discuss our underdog and our most disappointing movie, which may not be a surprise to many people if I know what both of us are going to pick. Then, after that, we're going to do something unique. We're going to lay out what we think our top 10 movies for 2018 are going to be, and then in this time next year, we're going to compare and see how things actually stood up after we actually see all the movies. So,
2017 was a dense year of films. It was a struggle to get a top 7. It got down to the wire, and let me tell you, there were like 3 films that were tied for top 7. It would almost make you think that there was a top 10, but no, there's just 7.
There's only 7. Quit talking about a top 10. There's only 7.
I like increments of 10, but we're trying to tame ourselves. We're talking about last year and our predictions for this year. We want to keep this a condensed episode, so we're doing 7 instead of 10.
Yes.
But as 2017 is but a distant memory in our rearview mirrors, it will hold a special place on our shelves with all of our Blu-rays.
Or on our streaming service, because you're the only person who still collects Blu-rays.
You might think that, but they're out there. I know, the collectors are out there.
All right, well, before we dive in, remember, this is the Nerdosphere. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Share if you like the content, and leave us a rating on iTunes if you want to. Tell us what your top 7 movies were in 2017 in the comments below.
Not looking for editorials though. Maybe a few anecdotes.
Just write whatever you want. You can write whatever you want. Let's get into it.
That is a can of worms.
Number 7.
The bottom of my list is going to be my 7th film, The Shape of Water.
Oh yeah, you've talked several times about that movie.
I have. Guillermo del Toro came out with a masterpiece. I actually got to see this a few months in advance. I got to see it in, I think it was late October, early November, before it came out in December. So it was actually kind of trippy. One day we were in the movies and I saw a trailer playing. But anyways, it's very, very good. Deserves all the credit. He's a hit and miss director, and this is a hit.
Nice. My number 7 is Thor Ragnarok. Now, there's a little caveat to this because, in my opinion, it is the weakest out of the 3 Thor movies. Yes.
You know, the internet would say that Dark World is trash. So.
I know, but the internet's wrong about a lot of things.
I mean, I agree with you.
So yeah, Thor Ragnarok coming in at number 7 for me.
Cool.
Number 6.
The War for the Planet of the Apes. This movie took my breath away. It had a message. It was heartfelt. Andy Serkis rocked my socks off. And like 3/4 of the movie was in sign language, which is really cool.
I still haven't seen that movie, so why don't you try not banging the...
Get out!
Quit banging the thing. My number 6 is The Mummy. I believe that this was a little bit of a surprise. It laid down some good foundations for what will be hopefully a good cinematic universe with the Universal monsters. There's a lot of ifs, but I thought it was a solid start. It wasn't the best movie, probably, but I enjoyed it. I had fun watching it, and see, for me, especially nowadays, like the thought of a world's lore and where it could go is really enticing to me, and this really grabbed my attention as far as that goes. So
I agree. That would have been, if we ever had a section of honorable mentions, that movie was in mine. Felt like Dr. Jekyll's stuff was a neat way to be the cohesive tissue between all of the films.
Yeah.
And we deserve to see more, I think. I think they should double down. But not on the Bride of Frankenstein. That's a terrible movie to double down on. That's stupid. That's a terrible decision.
Number 5.
Number 5 is Spider-Man Homecoming.
My number 5 is Wonder Woman. This was a solid movie. It was a surprise, especially coming out of the DCEU camp, and I felt like it deserved a spot on my top 7. Number 4.
Get Out is my number 4th. This movie for me everyone needs to see it. One proves that horror movies can also be a work of art, but it has social commentary that's super important. It's tasteful, and it's really good.
That's another one that's on my list of like need to watch. So
yeah, if you haven't seen it, bump that up to priority 1.
My number 4 is Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Tom Holland's
real good.
Peter Parker.
It's nice to have Spider-Man back home at the MCU.
Do you think? Wait. Do you think that's why they called it Homecoming?
I mean, probably partly, but the MCU is famous now for using story arc lines or story arc names for their names of their movies, and Homecoming is a major story arc in Spider-Man, so it probably seemed fitting twofold-wise.
Okay, all right. We'll move on to the next one.
Number 3.
The Disaster Artist from Anna Patrice.
Oh, dang, that surprised me.
I think that The Room holds a funny place in my heart. I've got to meet Tommy Wiseau now, and it was a great movie. It wasn't quite it was obviously really funny, but it wasn't mocking The Room. It was doing justice to those people,
paying homage,
and it was very very heartfelt. It was just really good, and a great performance from both Dave and James Franco.
Nice. Okay. My third is Dunkirk.
Really? You saw that?
I saw it.
You saw that, and it's in your top 7?
Saw it, and it's in my top 7. I really enjoyed the film. It was Christopher Nolan, who's a good director. Cinematically, it was awesome. It had the storytelling had a little bit of a Chris Nolan touch to it, as you'll know if you've seen the movie. I don't want to ruin it if you haven't seen it, but...
Do they do I had read that they were doing it by land, by sea, and by air.
There are 3 different storylines. One's based in the sea, one's based in the air, one's based on land. And I don't know, I have a soft place in my heart, I guess, for period pieces in World War II if they're done well, and this one was done really well. If you haven't seen it, it's a really good movie.
And I imagine if you see that movie and then Gary Oldman's Winston Churchill movie, you have the entire UK experience of World War II.
Right, yeah. Number 2.
It is my number 2.
Ooh, yeah. See, that's another one on my gotta see it. Arthur meme. Yeah.
You would love it. You would love it more than I loved it. And it's number 2 on my top 7.
I know. I got 3 kids in the house. I don't have anybody to go see a horror movie with, and I just never saw it, so.
I understand. But it's really good.
All right, my number 2, King Arthur, Legend of the Sword.
Ooh,
we did a whole episode on this and how it didn't deserve to be the flop that it became. We really hope that they continue to move forward with more movies. They have a tentative plan of 10 or 12 movies, but its future is kind of shaky right now because of the initial performance. So I really hope they continue with it. I loved Charlie Hunnam. I loved Guy Ritchie's take. Man, it
was fantastic.
It's a good movie.
The one thing we have going for us is that Guy Ritchie's in-house production studios is produce the movie. So if he wants to double down on it,
if he wants to do it, he can. So,
and he'll have a nice comeback after doing Aladdin.
Yeah.
So that'd be kind of cool.
Number 1,
Baby Driver.
Ooh.
Baby Driver is my number 1. Man, this movie was so good.
I've heard nothing but good movies.
So good.
Good things about this movie.
Edgar Wright obviously is just a phenomenal filmmaker. He has great action beats. He has great humor. His style is unique unto himself. But one of the things I really appreciate about this movie was it had a great soundtrack, but the soundtrack was perfectly synced to what was happening in the movie. So there were scenes where the character started singing to the song, and that's when you realize that every sequence that song was done to was in the beat of the song. If that making sense. So
yeah, that makes sense.
It happens second for second. So it's to me, from a technical standpoint, that was really well done.
Right.
It wasn't just some throwaway overlay. It was a part of the scene.
Yeah, it's cool. All right, my number 1, drum roll, Kingsman. Golden
Ooh.
Circle. That is my
that came
number
close to my
one
list.
movie of 2017.
Really?
As you know, if you've listened to this podcast, we have a special place in our heart for a Kingsman. And, man, this movie is no exception. It was really good. Cinematically, it was good. Action sequences are good. Acting was good. Storytelling was good. I mean, it's just over the top. It's fun. We've called it the modern Bond for the modern era, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just, man.
There's also something to be said about like Matthew Vaughn, Guy Ritchie, and Edgar Wright have to be like friends in real life.
Right, yeah, because they have a lot of similarities.
Yeah.
But yeah, Matthew Vaughn just runs away with this one again, so.
And they found a way to bring Colin Firth back to where I bought it.
Right,
and
yeah.
I'm excited to have him for the long haul.
Yeah.
I mean, that's hopefully maybe Arthur.
I imagine that's probably where they go, so we'll see. They definitely laid out a bunch of things that could lead into another one, so I imagine we'll see it again, and then I hope that we see many more in the future.
I agree.
So it's just a fun ride, man. If you want to just watch a good, fun movie, Kingsman's where it's at.
It's true. Too true.
Underdog.
Mine was actually Get Out. So for me, and it was in my top. It was number 4. I almost said top 3, but it was a movie that I very kind of like nonchalantly went to go see. Like some people would talk about it, but I had really no interest from the movies. I was like, I'll rent it one day and watch it.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I don't know. Like it was one that I had no expectations for. I didn't think it to be memorable, but it's now a movie that like I'm on a soapbox saying like you have to go see it. And so for that, I felt like it needed to have 2 places on my list. It needed to be in my top 7, and it needed to be called out for being a movie that I had no real interest in seeing, and then
Right.
changed my life.
Oh, whoa. All right. Damn. All right, man.
Let's see what your underdog was.
My underdog was dun, 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 The Boss Baby.
Get Out.
Yeah.
Get Out.
No, seriously. No, it's a really good movie. It's
No.
Yeah.
No. I'm done.
You're not done. Sit down.
Elaborate, please. Please elaborate.
I have children, for one, so I see a lot of animated movies, okay? This one is on the level of Disney or Pixar, in my opinion. It's really heartfelt. It's got a surprisingly cute story behind it. Previews, I feel, in children's movies, especially nowadays, do not give the children's movies justice. Because Moana, which was probably maybe my top movie from 2016, the previews for that
Girl said what?
didn't lead me to want to see it at all. But you go back and watch it, man, that's a good movie. Boss Baby, sit down and watch it, especially if you have kids. It's a really good movie. It'll give you the touchy feels. It's about brothers.
I feel like I'm a hypocrite right now.
It's about brothers.
The whole point of this channel is to show you not only do we have great taste, and you should trust us, and you should be interested in our opinions. And I'm also, as a partner in this, saying, I trust my brother and his taste. I don't know if I can trust you on this. I guess I'll have to. It's on Netflix, right?
It is.
Okay, I'll watch it.
We watch it all the time. It's really good.
Dang.
It's a good movie.
Okay. I mean, I believe you. I'll watch it.
It's not in my top 7, but it's the underdog of the year, okay?
Okay.
Jeez Louise.
Okay.
Worth your time.
Didn't mean to judge so hard. I'll watch it. Because even your wife, my sister-in-law, she liked it too.
Yeah, because it's good. Disappointment.
Familiar faces, worn out places.
Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
Star Wars: The Last Jedi. I knew it. It was both of our biggest disappointment of the year. And if you want to know why, just go back to last week's episode.
Backpedal an episode.
You won't regret it. It's a good episode.
That's a good episode.
All right.
On to a brighter and more hopeful future.
A brighter hope for future. Now we get into 2018.
And let me tell you, this is going to be a dense year. I think that I really want to discuss. There is a plethora of great content coming into this next
There is
year.
a plethora of great content. I don't think we need to discuss
that's
all
Clayton's
of that.
language for saying don't talk about the other stuff outside the list. Follow the script. There is no script. Okay. So, as Clay mentioned, we're going to go over what we believe to be our top 10 list for 2018. We're going to make this an annual tradition for the Nerdosphere. That's why we talked about 2017, and we're going to discuss what we believe to be our top 10 at the end of the year. We're going to create a new top 10, and we're just going to, for funsies, compare to what we thought we would think of movies.
Yeah.
Which I think would be,
I've already got ideas on how we can do that and stuff. So
cool.
Yeah.
Right on. So, my number 10 is going to be Deadpool 2.
That one almost made my list.
Really?
Almost. But I had to cut. I ended up narrowing it down to 13, and I had to cut that one.
I had so many.
I'm going to pick Game Night, the new Jason Bateman movie.
Oh, yes!
That one looks
That's the one.
so funny. They like get together for a game night. They think that it's going to be some IRL type movie,
like role play thing,
and then they
kidnapped.
get into a real kidnapping. It looks really funny.
That one does look pretty funny. Bravo. My number 9 is Mission Impossible 6. The Mission Impossible franchise for me, after Mission Impossible 3, has just been reinvigorated, and I absolutely love them. They do, for me, what Daniel Craig's Bond aimed to do, which is a more grounded, high-stakes, adrenaline spy thriller with gadgets. From Ghost Protocol on, it's just been fantastic.
I've not been the biggest fan, and I don't know why. They just don't grip me.
Really?
Yeah. Last one I watched was the one with Simon Pegg in it. Which one was that?
He's in all of them now.
Well, I know, but had to have been 5.
Well,
Had to have been
after
4?
3, you had... Was 4 Ghost
This
Protocol?
is number 6, right?
Yeah. So 4 was Ghost Protocol, and
Then
5...
I saw Ghost Protocol, but I haven't seen...
was... I forget what 5 was. But 5 is the one where he's on the plane.
Oh,
Like,
I saw that.
That's the high-stakes stunt in that
I
one.
saw
was the
that
plane.
one. Yeah.
Whereas Ghost Protocol was the skyscraper in Dubai.
Gotcha. My number 9 is Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. I have faith.
Bro.
Dude, I love Jurassic Park. I love it.
Yeah, so do I, but bro.
It's going to be good.
We'll see. We'll see. My number 8 is Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Took that one off my list also.
Really?
Yep, and the reason why is because I didn't want to riddle my list with Marvel movies, because there's a ton of other types of movies coming out this year that I really want to see. And 2, Ant-Man for me has never been on my... It's a tier. We always talk about our Marvel list being in 3 tiers. Tier 1 being like cream of the crop, Tier 2 being good movies, and then Tier 3 being Iron Man 3. And Ant-Man's always been in Tier 2 for me. I've never watched it more than once. I saw it in theaters, never watched it again. I just don't... I think that I'll like the movie, but I don't think it's going to hit me like other Marvel movies do. So
See, for me, I was actually pretty proud of myself that when I made my top 7, it hardly had Marvel movies on it. Even when I was thinking about maybe doing a top 10, it still was just Spider-Man. But I'm pretty jazzed for all the Marvel movies coming out this year.
I am too. I just don't think it's going to make my top 10. So my number 8 was Ready Player One. And this is just me holding out hope that it will be good.
Yeah.
Because the novel is such a kind of classic now. And it's such an awesome concept. Like, everybody's like in this Oasis virtual world. And it's kind of like, it goes along with our love of things like Sword Art Online and things like that, where you live in this virtual world and things have a real world cost. And
it's like a sandbox with every IP
right, yeah,
ever,
it's just all sorts of...
The fact that it has a Gundam in the trailer.
Right, yeah. Yeah, so, I don't know. I hope it's good.
Yeah.
So I put it on my number 8 because I'm expecting it to be good.
My number 7 is Incredibles 2.
My number 7 is Super Troopers 2.
I lied to your wife. I actually have Super Troopers 2 in my honorable mentions.
Oh.
Under the list titled, well, duh, I'm going to see it.
Oh.
But I'm excited for it.
It does look really funny. The original Super Troopers is comedy gold, and this one looks like it's going to uphold that. So a lot of times sequels to comedies aren't very good, but this one looks like it's going to be pretty good. So
Looks very good.
number 7.
Number 6, Teen Titans Go to the movies. Teen Titans Go is one of my favorite comedic shows right now. It's so
Mine
great.
too. I love it.
Just gold. And the fact that they're coming out with a movie, I am so excited to see what it's going to be.
You ready for my number 6?
What's your number 6?
Teen Titans Go to the movies. Seriously. We love Teen Titans Go. If you haven't watched Teen Titans Go, do yourself a favor and go watch Teen Titans Go. Like it's
so good.
It's amazing. It's not just a little kid show. It's a legitimate comedic
It's so good.
television program.
Ain't that right, Mama? My number 5 is Ready Player One. I thought for me it was fitting to put Ready Player One at 5, right in the middle, because I really feel like Ready Player One is either going to be, it's either going to go the route of Valerian and just be like visually really cool and be worth the watch,
Right.
or it's going to carve out its plot in cinema history. I really think it's going to be one of the two. It's either going to be, or oh my word.
Yeah. Okay. My number 5 is Alita Battle Angel.
Really?
It looks really cool. It's that live action anime-esque Robert Rodriguez film where
it's produced by James Cameron too, isn't it?
I don't know about that. I'm not going to say yes or no because I don't know. I just know it's a Robert Rodriguez movie.
Okay.
And I don't know. It just looks really good. The CGI looks really good. It's a bunch of cyborgs fighting. It's filmed like it's an anime, and
it's one step closer to.
I think it's really cool.
One step closer to a Mega Man movie or a Cyborg 009.
Right. And it kind of reminds me when that movie 9 came out about the little knit men, and like that's just a really good movie that everybody kind of slept on. I think this is going to be that movie this year. So
cool. My number 4 is A Quiet Place. For those of you who have not seen this trailer, look it up right now.
John Krasinski
and Emily Blunt. It looks like it's going to be some sort of horror epic. I
think it's a horror thriller.
Yeah, I don't want to call it a horror movie because it has a stronger quality.
It's probably more thriller than horror because horror insinuates like gore and things like that.
It seems like it has the cinematic substance of The Conjuring, where it's like it was actually cared for, and it's not just going to be a throwaway movie throughout the year. But it's from what we can tell, it's some sort of world where there's a monster alien or something that you can't make sound, and so the whole family communicates through sign language. They have like specific spots of their house marked out where they can step where it's not going to creak on the woods. It looks super intense.
It does look really intense. And John Krasinski is just like, he just keeps showing how good of an actor he is.
He's doing a good job at departing from the gym.
Yeah, definitely. My number 4 is Black Panther. Set to come out here in a couple weeks, and I think it's going to rock our world, and I'm excited for it. So, number 4.
My number 3 is Isle of Dogs, which is the new Wes Anderson movie coming out, and it looks so funny.
I don't think I've seen anything on that movie, so I don't know.
I encourage you, if you are like my brother and you have not seen the trailer for the Isle of Dogs, check it out.
Click, 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 click. Click, 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 click. My number 3 is A Quiet Place.
Really?
Yeah, I really think I'm going to like that movie. I'm just super excited to see it.
I wouldn't be surprised if that definitely rises on my ranks at the end of the year.
Yeah, and I think that type of movie, I don't know. I feel like I'm really going to enjoy that movie. So that's just, meh.
My number 2 is Black Panther.
Oh, what would number dos?
Yeah, I really think that I'm gonna walk away from this. Like, I think that Marvel always does a great job at raising the bar and then exceeding my expectations for the most part. On average, I would say.
I don't know, man. I think 2017 kind of showed that they might not be able to exceed the bar every time.
Maybe
because Guardians was short of.
But those were all sequels. Like every time they come out with a new IP, it's like this is great.
Yeah.
But Black Panther to me, it's an important film, and I just feel like there's just so much being put into it, so much care and so much precision. I think the execution is going to be near flawless.
Yeah, it does look really good. My number 2 is Avengers: Infinity War.
That's your number 2?
It's my number 2.
What hell is going to be your number 1?
You'll just have to wait and see here in about a couple seconds. I don't think we even have to really talk about Avengers: Infinity War. It's going to be the epic
culmination of 10 years.
Be all epics. So it's going to blow us all away, I'm sure.
It's with that logic that it's my number 1. It's everything I've been waiting for my entire life as a nerd. I remember being in high school and even characters like Captain America and Iron Man not being mainstream pop culture knowledge. People didn't read comics normally. Like whenever I said that I read it, they were like, "Oh, that's cool."
Yeah. I never even talked about that stuff in high school, except with really close friends.
Well, it was like it always kind of came out super casual. Like Spider-Man 3 was coming out, and then the Iron Man trailer had come out, and people were asking questions. I would just be sitting there and be like,
Well, I do remember sitting in Spanish class and people talking about Spider-Man and me having to correct them because people didn't know what they were talking about.
It's always our job to correct you.
My number one is The Incredibles 2.
What?
Yep.
That's your number one
gonna
most
be
anticipated film?
Yes.
Not even most anticipated, but the movie you think you're going to walk out at the end of the year saying that
Yeah. Because
beats everything.
the original Incredibles is a perfect mesh of old James Bond and superheroes, and it has a extremely special place in my heart. And number two, if it delivers on the same level, will be my number one.
I will say that the Incredibles music, who was composed by Michael Giacchino, which I'm butchering his name pretty badly, is
phenomenal.
It's fantastic, and he is returning to score the sequel, so that's pretty exciting.
Pixar always delivers. Incredibles already has a special place in my heart. I think I'm gonna walk away really loving that movie.
I agree. 2018 is going to be an exciting year. There are a lot of movies that I think could even knock off some of those movies, because there's some that are just so bonkers off the wall that I can't even gauge my perception of them right now. Like you have the Peter Jackson's Mortal Engines.
Yeah, we don't know enough about it to even it can't even be on our list, because we don't really, aside from it being moving cities,
and it's like some sort of cyberpunk.
We don't know anything about it, so we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, and I think the only other one that I'm looking forward to a lot is Christopher Robin that Walt Disney Studios is doing. It's based on Christopher Robin from Winnie the Pooh, but as an adult, and Ewan McGregor is the starring role. So I'm pretty excited for that one.
It does look interesting.
I think it'll touch on my heartstrings.
On your heartstrings a little bit.
A little bit.
All right. Well, that has been our assessment of 2017 and our predictions for 2018. Be sure to tune in to Enter the Nerdosphere on all your favorite platforms, whether it be YouTube, Podbean, iTunes, Google Play, or anything else.
All the things.
Thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing.
Subscribe.
And we'll see you next time.